In 1955, Melbourne and Metropolitan Tramways Board were unhappy with the performance of buses and rebuilt the previous tram cables as electric tram services. Trams have then become the second most used form of public transport in Melbourne. As of May 2014, the tram network consists of 25 routes, all operated by Yarra Trams, one of these being the 86 route. The 86 tram route travels from Bundoora RMIT to Waterfront City Docklands. Today we'll be focusing on the urban design and environment of the present precinct of Route 86.
Due to trains having high construction costs and other factors, tracks were laid out in cities along roads. These later became known as trams. In effect, trams were the birthplace of local and urban transport. Trams, unlike trains, are more personalised. Trams link more than just suburbs together, they connect them. They allow people more direct access to service and facilities. Trams have proven to be an effective mode of transport, especially in terms of permeability. They are frequent and simple to use. In terms of variety, the choices you're able to make. They take you to a station, a point of interest. The 86 in particular travels through different areas and built environments, starting at the junction where there is a local shopping centre, and along Plenty Road where there are many commercial and industrial businesses. And personalisation. Unlike a train, a tram's route is more specific to your destination. The tram also gives local access to Preston Market and Northland Shopping Centre, both conveniently located off Murray Road. Trams are considered to be more efficient than motor buses, as they have the capacity to move 4 times the number of people in half the time, and of course they're much less damaging on the environment. The Preston section of the 86 tram was not constructed till after the 1920s. The original cable tram terminated at Dundas Street. As a result of the 86 route extension, urban growth in the area increased. Preston's population boomed, as did commercial and industrial development. Preston's population is constantly on the rise, and this is largely due to good public transport in the area. After speaking to a representative from Yarra Tram's new Preston depot on Miller Street, I was told new E-Class trams were to join the Route 86, with the ability of carrying 270 passengers. This will help cater for Preston's population increase. What's on Plenty Road? Plenty Road is home to many offices, businesses, old factory sites, with the exception of some still in operation, particularly between Plenty Road and High Street, prior to the Bell Street intersection. There are some Victorian era, Edwardian era, and post-war era houses along the road. Some old shops have been converted into townhouses and redeveloped into small medium density apartment sites. What does the 86 tram give access to? Well, in Preston, it gives access to the Preston Market, Northland Shopping Centre, South Preston Shopping Centre, High Street's Thornbury Village and Northcote Strip, because it acts as a corridor, access to commercial shops, and a range of other facilities. In saying that, the junction acts as a meeting point or central point for the community. In terms of policy, the State Policy Planning Framework has a strong focus on sustainable and integrated transport, set out in Clause 18. The 86 route provides social and economic opportunities whilst coordinating reliable movements of people and goods. In terms of local policy, the Darebin Planning Scheme, Clause 22, looks at the strategic importance of the Preston Central Activity Centre. The Council is looking at strategies to support growth and appropriate expansion in the area in accordance with the Preston Central Structure Plan 2006. Currently, the 86 enables easy travel around the area and contributes to economic growth. It will definitely play a big role in future expansion of the area. Clause 21, Section 5, Transport and Infrastructure. The Strategic Transport Framework Plan highlights key transport priorities for Darebin. Multimodal streets such as Plenty Road in Preston are identified as significant corridors for both trams, motor vehicles, foot traffic and cycling. To improve corridors such as Plenty Road, focus areas include mixed use, so to better manage traffic through the corridor. So far, certain sections of the road and the 86 route have designated clearways during peak times in the morning and afternoons. This allows the tram to have its own designated lane so it may travel at a more consistent and time-efficient speed. Other future strategies include better signage and widening sections of Plenty Road in Preston.
As the tram turns off of High Street onto Plenty Road, it picks up speed. Preston's section of the tram route is where the area transforms from commercial to residential, giving the area a unique public space. A variety of land uses, increased size in buildings, dependency on cars, and spike in single-family detached housing gives a distinct character to the street's public realm. Some of the characteristics of the public space works better than others. I'll go through the ups and most of the downs of Preston's tram route to see what could be improved upon. This section of the route is lacking in active street frontage. Few pedestrians are seen going from place to place, especially in the residential area. The roads are more focused on cars. This becomes clear through the many gas stations, automotive repair shops, car dealerships, and large car parking, due to the further distance between buildings. There is no designated bike lanes, only occasional bike rack. The road is not aligned directly north, emphasizing the overshadowing of buildings. This creates a less sunny atmosphere for the route, especially during the colder months of winter. The tram is perfect for people living in the upper area of Preston. The tram is a quick way to commute to and from the city. Lots of walking between stops due to low activity frontage. The tram stops become more and more sparse, with greater distance between them. Unlike in the Bandura section of the tram line, the tram stops are along the side of the road, making the stops more accessible to people on the streets. The quality of the start of Preston dwindles as it gets to the end. The once adequate weather-protected shelters provided for the tram stop changed to signs with tram-goers lucky to find a bench nearby. The tram stops are boring. These standard stops do not add to the area's character. But why are these issues specific to this area? Could it be the transitional zone, funding, distance, density, culture as a car-dependent city, or the commercial zone is mainly specialty shops that people do not frequent regularly? Most likely it's a combination of all the above. But looking at what Preston does well and where it needs to improve, we can see what causes the issues so that we can aid and avoid them.
The Route 86 tram line performs as a significant public transport facility for the residents of Darebin. Many members of the community access and use the tram line as it travels through Plenty Road, a key road that contributes to connecting the residential areas to the main activity centres of Preston. These members include the working group, families and school children. Whilst the tram line is accessible by students and families, it provides limited accessibility for the disabled, elderly or those with limited mobility. There are no designated disabled tram stops or facilities providing assistance for those entering or leaving the tram in the middle of traffic. The Victorian Accessible Public Transport Action Plan recognises that it is critical to improve the safety and convenience of the tram line in order to provide access to all members of the community, increase its usage, and thereby improving the connection between public transport and the public community. In accordance to Clause 1104(2), the Route 86 tram allows for a connection between main activity centres in Preston, providing an integrated transport system connecting people to jobs and services, supporting a productive central area, and overall improving local travel options. Whilst there are no bus routes on Plenty Road, the tram stops at two major intersections connecting to bus routes. The first being the intersection of Plenty Road and Bell Street, which connects a bus to Bell Street Station. The intersection at Plenty Road and Murray Road connecting a bus to Northland Shopping Centre being the second. The tram also stops at Preston Shopping Centre. A public transport system that well connects the main activity centres enables more availability from different areas in the suburb and therefore encourages public transport use. Safety seems to be a major issue for this tram route. Cyclists, pedestrians and vehicles all share the same space of road. Outlined in Clause 1801, planning for tramlines should coordinate reliable movements of people, cyclists and vehicles and provide a safe environment for every member of the community. A high rate of traffic, cyclists and pedestrians in one area, as evident on Plenty Road, is not safe for anyone. Pedestrian accessibility and safety needs to be enhanced to encourage public transport use. This can be achieved through designated pedestrian access with minimal interference with vehicles. Plan Melbourne outlines a key development to improve the road efficiency in terms of safety and overall improve the relationship between pedestrians, vehicles and cyclists. The plan focuses on designating specific areas to specific members of the community, creating a harmony between public transport services and the surrounding environment. It is important to enhance the surrounding transport infrastructure and urban design to support and improve the accessibility of the tram, as well as overall contribute to the livability and sustainability of the suburb.
The suburb of Preston has a lot of potential for land use intensification, and this is reflected in the Darebin planning scheme. The planning scheme contains one subsection, 22.09, which deals with areas inside of Preston encouraging higher density. This is especially important concerning the way land use and transportation design work together on the 86 tram route. The 86 tram route is already the second busiest tram route in the city. This is caused by the multiple strong terminals along the line. RMIT, Latrobe, and the CBD that require many people to ride from one end of the line to the other. This is unlike many other tram routes that end in what seem like the middle of nowhere. Because of this busyness, it becomes difficult for those who live in the areas between the terminals to use the trams, as they can be over capacity and unreliable in their timing. Land use planners have to gently increase the density and commercial occupancy along the line to encourage shorter customer turnaround on the tram, and thus creating more trips and more capacity on the line. One solution for gentle density is the lane houses in Vancouver. Lane house is the development of very small units in place of detached garages. This gentle density takes years to develop as it would require a trend for homeowners. Some streets on the west side of Plenty Road have rear access detached garages already in place and would be an ideal location to incorporate lane houses into the design. These designs would be appropriate for students, especially those going to Latrobe or RMIT Bandura campus. This is shown in the illustration outlining an existing laneway with structures adjacent to it. Plenty Road itself should have investment in larger, diverse, multi-unit developments, which will allow affordable housing for families, while also building up office, commercial, and recreational developments within and above the existing commercial strips. Due to the nature of the tram being a university route, it would provide a good opportunity for entrepreneurial students to begin startup companies at lower office rental space than they would be able to find in the area immediately adjacent to Latrobe or in the CBD.
Public transport has kept up with Preston's growing population. The issue that now faces the area is strengthening the Plenty Road-Preston corridor in terms of traffic management, housing, and development. With the many available ex-factory sites and empty land, there's plenty of room for further development. Preston's tram section would benefit from an increase in public amenities to aid a safer, more welcoming environment. There is plenty of potential and opportunity for development on Plenty Road in regards to pedestrian, vehicle, and cyclist harmony. Preston is lacking in density, and lane houses could be the solution.